This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.K.
Radio 1.
Innovators, pioneers, people who are business heads in their own field, they have only one home, 94.3 Radio 1. Very, very proud and happy to have with us here a pioneer in the gaming sphere, and you'll find out how over the next 1 hour. Madhumita Halder is here from Bangalore. Hi Madhumita, how are you?
I'm fine.
Excellent to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, now she is the founder of MadRat Games. They are the creators of the world's first Indian language word game called Aksharit. How did this whole idea or the concept of Aksharit, the game, come about?
It's an interesting story and I love to say it every time. So we are three founders, Rajat, Manoj and myself. So basically it started as a college project of Manoj. He was studying in IIT Guwahati and he has a knack for creating games. So for one of his college projects, he was looking at creating a game which could relate where a grandfather can relate to a grandchild. And he thought of something which would be common and he saw that, Indian languages, their own mother tongue is a good example. He did some research and found out that though there are so many games available in English and other Western languages, there were none available for Indian languages, and that's very surprising given the fact that Scrabble, for example, has been around for 60 odd years. It has been translated into more than 30 world languages, but none of those languages are Indian languages. It is so surprising because languages like Hindi, Telugu, Bengali are the top 10 spoken languages in the world. So it was surprising for us, and we started doing the research, going to the market, and when we compared both the languages, we soon found out why this was so. So English, for example, has 26 letters, A to Z. But Hindi or other Indian languages, if you see, have these concept of matras. So you have ka, kha, ga, gha, and you also have a, e, u, and then you have to combine them to form sounds.
Correct.
Right? So you have ka, ki, ku, gha, ghi, gu. So you end up more than 600 different sounds. And then if you actually blindly copy a game like Scrabble, you'll end up with a board which will be a size of a double bed, and you'll have to carry the tiles in a sack and carry around. So that
Not
was
a
not
pretty
possible.
sight.
Yes. So it was quite a challenge, making it so compact that it fits in a box, and also making it fun, So there were other challenges we faced while we were creating the game. English, if you see, has some very difficult letters to use. For
That's
example,
right.
X, Q, J. But Hindi has these, when we did the frequency analysis, we saw there were 18 such letters. Count all the Vana, Gya, Kshatra, all these. There are 18 such letters. So if you have like 100 and out of them 18 are, all these difficult letters, you end up getting stuck in every turn.
Correct.
So there were issues like this that we had to solve and go around. So Aksharit now is a game by itself. It's a new concept for all the Indian languages, and the solution that we have come up with can be replicated for, we started with Hindi, but can be easily replicated for the other languages.
Fantastic. Up ahead, we're going to talk about how Madhumita Halder subsequently taught middle-aged school children at an alternate education center for 4 years, which is kind of what went into the making of Aksharit. Don't go anywhere, 94.3 Radio 1.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.K.
Radio 1.
Well, normal is boring on 94.3 Radio 1, which is why Madhumita Halder is here. She's co-founder of MadRat Games, the creator of the world's first Indian language word game. www.aksharit.com is where you want to go. Okay, now your career is pretty interesting for anybody. You went to IIT Bombay. Post that, what were you doing? And eventually you ended up, teaching alternate education to children. And from there, Aksharit, the word game. So talk about your career graph.
Sure. Okay, so basically, when I finished IIT, I did my graduation in computer science and engineering. So, the obvious choice was to go and get a job as a programmer. I did so. But I think 6 months down the line, I just saw it wasn't giving me the kick. And moreover, it's very interesting that I suddenly saw that, I had been following the path everybody has told me to, you get good grades in school, then you go to college, a good college, then you get a good job, and you should have a bank balance, you should be happy. So I had all that, and I was not happy. So I kind of sat and thought one day, so I should be happy, why am I not? So what is it that I want to do? And that's when it struck me that when I tried to answer this question, what is it that I want to do, I had no answer. And every time I asked that question, I found myself in like level 0, as if I'm starting from the beginning. So it led to a lot of turmoil. And I was quite surprised as to find out, how in school we are all taught, 2 plus 2 is 4.
Yep.
But nobody teaches us, sometime or the other you'll have these questions, and at least telling us that, it's okay to have these questions and not judge us by saying, you're a fool. Don't even think about these. Just go do your job. But I just don't know why, I just couldn't leave those questions. So I just quit my job and I took a break for 6 months. Just started exploring the education system because I was thinking, how did my teachers miss me there? And then I think Rajat, who's the other co-founder and also my husband.
She's blushing as she's saying that. How sweet. Okay.
So basically, so I would discuss all these questions with him, and he was also going through the same. He was doing his master's in Carnegie Mellon, US. And I think we both discussing, how the education system could we, make any change, should we explore it? And I think we decided to go ahead. So I think he completed his master's and then he came back to India, and I think we started exploring all the alternate education centers. We wanted to see where all the work is going on. We explored schools in South, and that's when we hit Rishi Valley School. And once we were there, it was an amazing synergy with the people, the place. I think for the first time when we were talking to people there, they were able to relate to what we are saying. Otherwise, outside people would say, social service karna hai, 40 ke baad karna after you have a bank balance, right? So there we were able to relate, and we told the principal that we want to work with children. We want to see how their growth plan is. So how do you think? You suggest what to do. He said the best way to do that in a boarding school is to become teachers. And since we were at level 0, we said, okay, we are ready to do anything to answer our questions. So we said, okay, why not? And that's how, we decided.
And what was the subject you guys taught?
We used to teach science to middle school children, class 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is getting interesting. Aksharit is the game. It has been founded by Madhumita Halder. We're going to come back on 94.3 Radio 1 and talk to her about how she's tied up with Nokia and Intel, and she's taking the technology route. Don't go anywhere.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.K.
Radio 1.
I'm with a whiz called Madhumita Halder. She has actually invented a game called Aksharit, and it's the first ever Indian language word game. It's already reached 2 lakh children in one single year. Now, I did a small Google on you and I found out that you're a TED Fellow, and Inc. in association with TED Fellow. So it sounds like Greek and Latin to the common man. So for the uninitiated, tell us what that is.
Yeah, sure. So Inc. stands for Knowledge and Innovation, and it's a forum where, the curators collect innovative, out of the world, new age, future ideas, people who believe in those ideas, and get them to a common platform and make them speak about it. So because it's amazing, when I was at the Inc. conference this year in December, it gave an opportunity for me to speak and also to hear so many wild and crazy ideas that people have. It just opens up your mind. It's like a common platform for the human consciousness, where you just put in ideas and it's there for people to share.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Now listen, as far as the mobile version of your game is concerned, who have you tied up with? Any partnerships online that you have gotten into? Tell us about that.
See, creating the game for the physical version, and when we were moving to creating it for the digital version, we stumbled upon a big roadblock, which was the Indian language data is not available anywhere on the internet. Okay, though it is available for English and other languages. And what I mean to say is, suppose you take the letter A, what should be the frequency? How many times it should be repeated in the game, or what point should be given, has to be decided. So for Indian languages, we just couldn't find anything. That in the end we decided, to do it all in-house. So we wrote softwares, programs which would get onto the internet, forage the data and find this information for us. So over 2 years we worked things out, and that's when we got this proprietary information. Now any game that we want to develop in Indian languages, using that data is very easy. You should have a gameplay, and this data helps us to make it more fun. So given that, then we contacted Nokia saying, we have this amazing game, and Nokia was launching their touch phones that time, N8 touch phones.
Yeah.
So, and they were looking for 10 Indian apps, and we had seen them I think 2 months back, and when they were launching it, they got back to us saying, we want Aksharit as one of our apps.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's when we tied up with Nokia, and then Intel also approached us, followed by Google. Basically, we have 2 apps, Word Mudkey and Aksharit Paheli. These are the 2 versions of our games on Google Web Store. The thing is that all the huge brands which are trying to kind of Indianize their brand and need some Indian, really hardcore Indian apps, they are approaching us.
So what would your estimate be? Let's say if this whole Google and Intel thing, as it becomes more and more successful, How many users would you reach by the end of this year?
We're hoping to reach a million users.
Lovely. In conversation with Madhumita Halder, she has created the first ever Indian language word game called Aksharit. Up ahead, we're going to talk about how she's tied up with schools, private as well as government. Don't go anywhere, 94.3 Radio 1.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.K.
Radio 1.
In conversation with a very bright Madhumita Halder. She has created MadRat Games, which in turn has created the first ever Indian language word game called Aksharit. Now, whenever something new, an innovation like this happens, especially as far as knowledge-based games are concerned, my question is always, how are you reaching the schools? So, what is your plan? What is your model in place for reaching schools, whether they're private or government?
Initially, when we created Aksharit, I think we moved out from Rishi Valley to creating a games company.
Which is the school you were teaching at, Rishi Valley, yeah.
So, we did that because after 4 years, we felt, we need to reach more kids. It was not satisfying enough. So, that's why we started MadRat Games. And we approached the government because that's where all the reach is. So, we started with the state of Chhattisgarh. And I think the first year, they conducted a pilot in 1,000 schools. And nowadays, government is helping, children with this activity-based learning where it's the subject is taught not only through books, a lot of activities are involved. So Aksharit fitted very well with the Hindi curriculum they had developed. So it was launched and we got really good positive feedback from the teachers. They were really surprised to see how, when a teacher takes a game, a Hindi game to the class, children say, we didn't expect you'll get a game. I thought you're going to teach us grammar. So
yes, you're so true. And earlier on you were talking about bad teaching, how it can psychologically scar you. I went off mathematics because I had a poor mathematics teacher in school. It's so unfortunate. It's not as though we want to blame our teachers. A lot of the reasons why I'm on radio today is because I had great teachers. But some subjects, I really wish there was some gaming involved, really, and that is the future. In fact, there's a very interesting byline, a tagline, which goes, last decade was social, this decade is gaming, which is part of Aksharit and MadRat Games. So where did that come from?
Yeah, last decade was, social. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Facebook, Twitter, everything, yeah.
Yeah, sure. When we say gaming, the word gamification, which is any act can be gamified, okay? See, play by its intrinsic nature has the ability to, pull you inside completely. You are totally engrossed. It's a very powerful tool to motivate you. See, I have been in a boarding school. I would see a child in the classroom sitting very dull and the same child so active on the games field in the evening. Okay? And the child is trying to learn a new move. Everybody's like screaming, you're doing bad and this and that, but still the child is trying to make a goal. So I'm thinking, why can't I make that child do all that in my classroom where he is so much motivated that he wants to learn that skill. Doesn't matter how many tries it takes. Okay? And that's where we saw the potential play holds. So, nowadays you see all these points, flying points and all that. This is all a part of gamification.
One last leg of a conversation with the head of MadRat Games, the lady who's been instrumental in launching Aksharit, the world's first word game, which is going out in Indian languages. So happy to hear about that. 94.3 Radio 1.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi.K.
Radio 1.
Madhumita Halder is with me. She actually makes games, designs games where learning is rightly balanced with fun and a rewards mechanism. She's talking to us about Aksharit, which has reached 2 lakh children in a year, and now they've actually gone on and tied up with government schools as well as private schools to improve children's vocabulary and play this word game. I'm thinking that the next logical step has got to be e-commerce, retail, selling out in the large, wide open market. What are your plans with Aksharit as far as that is concerned?
Definitely, we have already started doing that this January. So we are present in Bangalore, retail stores in Bangalore. We're trying to tie up with all the large format stores around, and we are present in e-commerce also. We've tied up with Infibeam, India Plaza. We are the launch partners of Flipkart for the toys and games section. We have our own e-commerce on our own website, aksharit.com. So basically, you're right, that's where we want to reach through this. We want to reach the masses, and Aksharit was just the beginning. Now we have come up with more interesting learning games, you can say, in the field of maths, English, as they are about to come now.
Like you said, the future is gaming. Yes. Moving from the social to the gaming sphere. I'm thinking, it's been a long ride from IIT to teaching at Rishi Valley School to now gaming. Is gaming going to be the future for the rest of your life, Madhumita? Are you going to devote yourself to that, or are you going to wake up one fine day and say maybe something different now? Difficult question, I think.
Yeah, but see, it's not difficult because till now I have, I'd planned my life till I did IIT. Yeah. I think after that I just realized there's no point planning. So why not? I mean, I might continue, or if something new comes up, maybe.
Interesting. What is your zodiac sign?
I think I'm a Leo.
You
Yeah.
think. That means you don't believe in it that much.
Yeah.
You're a technology lady. Yeah, how would you?
I believe in what I do.
Self-belief, yes.
Yes.
Any international track that we can play for you? Any English song, band that you really like that we can play for you? Anything that comes to mind?
I like the song "Here I Am" by Bryan Adams. Spirit.
Lovely song, yeah, really romantic song. Thank you very, very much for being on 94.3 Radio 1. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.